Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all well wherever you are. Um, as you know, folks, anybody who's been on my page now for a little bit, you know that we are doing a live summit, which is wearing on me a bit today. It's been a long day, and I'm absolutely delighted to have Tracy on tonight. I met Tracy sometime. We'll be live, Tracy. We will say some time back. How about that?
God, I don't know how many years back. I don't want to say 10 because it's almost embarrassing. But
I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's quite 10, but it's probably not far off.
Okay.
We'll be nice. So
Okay.
I'm going to try.
That's right.
So anybody who doesn't know Tracy, I'm going to introduce her to you for a second, guys. Just give you a kind of a background to her. And then Tracy and myself are going to have, like everything with you on these live webinars or live sessions on Facebook, a completely unrehearsed conversation because
That's right.
it's not that bad. You'll be fine. I won't ask you anything that bad yet. So Tracy's an award-winning CEO for Inner Surf International. She's a best-selling author and trusted TV resource. Tracy's a brand and client conversion specialist, which we'll ask about in a second, and 7-time international best-selling author. She's just showing off now. Who has helped thousands of successful coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs, and CEOs worldwide increase their visibility and create 6- and 7-figure businesses doing what they love. Tracy has awards from the Senate, Assembly, White House, and President Obama for work. Ooh, that's very impressive. You have to tell us what that was like. And as a world-renowned speaker in over 39 countries. I won't ask you if you'd like an award from the current president. We'll keep politics off of this. Right? But a trusted TV resource with NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, HGTV, Forbes, USA Today, Washington Post. She provides message clarity and structure for online marketing, social media automation, and branding. You will get seen, be heard, make more, and reach millions by getting the marketing system and online presence in your place you need to achieve. Tracy started her software company in 1985 at the age of 19. Don't be trying to figure out her age, folks. Has been on the internet since 1994, and after impacting over 40 million people last year and her American Airlines interview, TV and stage appearance, she has become a global leader for strategic thinking and increased market research. And my dyslexia didn't hit me once. We're doing well. So, Tracy, tell us, you're going to have to tell us about the award. You're going to have to start with the award in the White House. Come on. That's huge.
Well, actually, that came from different speaking engagements that I was doing, especially when I started to travel to Dubai and Kuwait, because I was opening up women's empowerment centers and education centers and educating them on how to become businesswomen in a country where they, prior to that, had never been allowed to even think about opening their own business. And so when they got wind of that, I started to get contacted and then receive awards for for my part, kind of in advancement of women, which I've actually been doing now for almost 32 years.
Wow. And it was Women's Empowerment Day yesterday, right? Yes.
On the 8th, and no, it was very exciting. It's one of my favorite days, just to always kind of put us at the forefront a little bit and really kind of encourage women to move forward. In fact, I'm actually in the process of opening up a school for women's empowerment and education and business related in the kind of the Los Angeles area. I'm going to start with there and see where it goes.
Wow. I'll give you, as a marketer, we test everything, and it's interesting. So just to say that I've tested this with a girl that I JV with a lot in Dublin. She does a lot of web stuff and that type of stuff. And if I say the content and she says the content, she gets way more views than I do. So it is just fascinating, the different dynamics that people look for. And we even split test that bad, guys, that we test everything to see what works best. So tell us about the...
nice.
Well, it is interesting, this whole thing, social media, and it's one of the things you cover is, it can be very good and very bad. I've got 5 kids who are now old enough, they're 14 to 24, so I've kind of gone from the texting stage, it's been interesting. I've had a test program the whole way up from text all the way up, so it is interesting the amount of stuff. And I suppose it's one of the things that people, and especially people coming, maybe say a lady coming back into the workplace, you know, have been out for a while, or people trying, and anybody, including both men and women, trying to step up and get out there, because one of the things about seeing get hurt, and people are very afraid about getting out in front and getting in front of their brand. So can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, it takes a lot of courage, I believe, for whether it be a CEO to stand in front of the corporation, you know, in the early days, like, you know, kind of Steve Jobs did. And it takes courage to become the face of your company. That's what I am, actually. There's a whole company behind me, and I kind of operate as Tracy Repchuk International, but quite frankly, our company is called InnerSurf International. And so I'm just the face of a company. And then there's, you know, people that are solopreneurs and business people that stand up and become the brand, right? As opposed to operating almost as a company. And it does put you at risk and at exposure and at scrutiny. But here's the good thing about it. People want people. And so if you really want to make an impact in society and with your business, and you want to be the type of person that reaches millions with your message, which is my my catalyst, for example, it's really what I focus on, then you have to do that. And here's what I can say is, in general, 2% is going to be trollers, and they're going to be the ones that want to bash you, and ignore them. Just make your brand so solid, your message so clear, your purpose, mission, and vision so enthralling that those that fall in love with you, know, like, and trust you will be the ones that will follow you, and will be the ones that promote you, and will be the ones that kind of help move your brand to become a mission.
Yeah,
and a movement.
I've said for a long time, the good thing about the internet, it gives everyone a voice. The bad thing about the internet is it gives everyone a voice. And, you know, it's interesting, the kind of psychology in that, because, you know, people come to people like us and they say, oh, the internet is an awful this type of person, the rest of it. Like, I hate to tell you folks, but the people on the internet are the exact same people that are in your park, in your location, in your area. They're just, you get every single type of people, and you're not going to always get on with people. So Tracy, let's talk a small bit about what you're going to talk about on the Legends of the Digital World. So if I'm sitting at home and I'm a bit starting out and I'm a bit concerned about starting off and coming up onto this, give me a few tips that you can that you would give me to start off.
Well, I mean, one of the tips is probably something you're going to hear from every speaker. And one of the things I often focus on is the holistic 360-degree viewpoint, which means we're going to set the goal, what we really want from your company, and work our way backwards. And that's kind of how you're going to operate. So take a viewpoint from that, and then you want to say to yourself, okay, what is unique about me? What is it that I can sell to a market that has a gap and needs something for me to fill? And then who is the market, and do they have the money to afford me? At that moment, that's where we put our stake in the ground, and then we move from there. Everything starts to build and launch based on the target market that we've selected and your overall encompassing brand, if we want to term it as.
And if I feel that I don't have anything unique to offer, what would you say to me?
I would say it's because you're too close to the issue. You can't kind of read the label from inside the jar. Everybody has something that is unique about. Everyone has some sort of gift that they take so kind of common, right? Because they know it. They're like, oh, everyone can do this. No. Every time somebody says that to me, I say, great, start talking about yourself. Tell me about yourself. And then sure enough, that piece will pop out. I was talking to a guy yesterday, for example, and he said, I'm just, an ordinary la la la, right? And then I find out he was in the Green Beret. Okay, well, you might not think that that's unique, but it is very unique in the fact that you will have extremely different organizational tactics and strategy and discipline and responsibility and ethics and all kind of elements that compose you as a brand. And that's the piece I jump from.
Yeah, it is interesting. Everybody, I suppose that I actually love your expression. I might swipe that one, that you can't read the label from inside the jar. That's very apt, because, you know, and I think you're right. Every speaker, depending which section of the market you're talking, everybody feels the same. I've nothing to offer. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not technically competent. You know, I don't know how to do this. But if you have a desire, I think every single person on the planet has something unique to offer. You know, it's fascinating, the different types of businesses you see out there. One of the ones I use an awful lot is the Dollar Shave Club. The guy sold razor blades that he sold the company for $1 billion. Not bad. It's just razor blades that you can buy in a supermarket. So, you know,
and we use Dollar Shave Club, so that's how it works.
Brilliant. I think his marketing was one of the cleverest marketing I've ever seen in my life. I thought it was absolutely superb. You know,
it was so great.
Yeah, to be able to turn a market out, it was just intriguing. And again, I think you're 100%. It's all the great ideas are always the ones that are so obvious that you don't see them, and they're sitting in front. And I think that's why you go to somebody like Tracy because you cannot, when you're here, you can't see the problem. But when somebody's walking in, you can see it. And what way do you normally, you know, if you start talking to somebody, what way would you normally start talking to them? What would be the kind of first two steps? So you're going to have to come on the live training, guys, and live workshops to get all of this. We're going to give a snippet tonight. But what would be if somebody's sitting at home now thinking, yeah, I might try something, I have this idea. What would be your first steps, would you say?
So normally when someone says to me, I have an idea, of course the first thing I'm going to say is, great, tell me what it is. And then we reverse engineer from there, you know. So it comes down to, okay, so what's the money model? Always. Like, how do you expect? Because so many, especially women, will say to me, oh my God, I want to do this, or I want to do that, I want to give to the plant, I want to help, you know. I'm all for helping. I hugely philanthropic. But the thing is, you have to differentiate between a business and a hobby. And so, or a passion. Sometimes your business can be what you're passionate about, and kudos when you found the money model. But if not, you have to build your business and then, you know, hold your passions and or your things and causes that you care about, you know, integrate them in a way, shape, or form. But it always comes down to where's the money, who's the target market, where, and do they really need this? And if there's competition in the marketplace, who are they? And what do you do differently? What are you about to present differently than what they do? Because that's, again, something that we would have to punch out, right? And profile. Otherwise, someone's going to say, oh, they're just like such and such. And again, you know, a lot of times I'll work with real estate agents. Well, of course, it's like they're all the same, right? Agent A, Agent B, Agent C. But no, everyone has a unique point. And then what I'll do from there is position you in such a way that you can dominate a market. And again, you'll hear this probably from all of the speakers, is to niche it down. And, you know, so, you know, kind of even 1 inch wide. And then you can spread out from there through effective target marketing.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, because you can't be all things to everybody. And I also like, my father has a good expression, which was never be a missionary, because the missionaries either landed up being eaten by the natives or starving to death. So it's always start with where the money. And you're right, a lot of people don't know, and I agree, it's great to follow your dream and passion, but if there's no money in it, then you absolutely no shot. So we are going to have Tracy on live, guys. I'm very conscious of Tracy's time because she's an extremely busy person. And I'm very appreciative of you coming on. If anybody's got a quick question, we'll take 1 or 2 quick questions. If you're on, guys, there and you want to ask a question. If not, you know, go to legendsofdigitalworld.com, sign up, come away along, and you're going to get to learn from not just Tracy, but a lot of other people. And I'll say this because Tracy's on. I know Tracy a long time. We haven't talked to each other a long time, but we actually shared a stage a long, long time ago here in Ireland. So she's been around, and this whole event is about with people that I know. and that people I know are going to deliver you absolutely great content, are going to deliver great stuff. And I'm not saying that to flatter anybody's ego, because anybody who watches my stuff knows I'm as blunt as be damned. I don't have any frills. So, Tracy, really thanks very much for coming on. It's been I'm really looking forward to your talk. Love what you're doing. It's about getting your brand out there and getting the brand new. And if you don't think you need a brand, guys, everybody needs a brand. And here's the interesting thing: to start a McDonald's today is quite difficult, but to start as yourself is quite easy. And the other great thing is on this thing. I did a survey. I was speaking to a lot of business owners today, and I did a survey. I said, how big do you think this company is? How big do you think that company is? How big this? And they're all online traders. I said, how do you know? You can't pass their shop. You can't see them. You don't deal with them. There's no physical premise. It's not anymore like when I started, you have to be a big shop, 10,000 square foot with all of this stuff. Now you can be anything online. So do you want to give any... I'm thinking more about this award from President Obama, because getting an award from the White House is amazing, and the work that you're doing, it's interesting. I have a 21-year-old daughter, so when it comes to women empowerment, I'm always watching it. And my wife's gone back, she's starting her own business. She tested some stuff for Christmas, and she's gone back because she took time off to mind her kids.
Nice.
To be fair. 5 kids is she had a tough job. I had the easy job, to be perfectly honest. So, any last closing comments you want to make?
Well, you know what's... Yeah, one thing I want to mention is one thing you're going to be getting from a lot of the speakers is a very specific, right? And you need tactics. But what I'm going to be really focusing on to help you position where all of those fit and scheme of things is the order and the placement. I'm extremely logical. I like sequence. It's just one of the things that's great in nature. So what I will do is I will be helping you do. We got our brand, we got our market. Where will the Facebook come in? Where will the speaking come in? Where will all of these pieces come in? Right. So it will help you during mine as you pull in all the other speakers as well. Is where do they place in the sequence of things so that you can really optimize and prioritize your time so you can get the fastest kind of cash. And I'm not talking quick money. I actually don't deal with a lot of quick money. Our BizOp, I'm setting up a full company type of thing in this case. When you want to be around for a lot of years and you really want to take you and your brand and get your vision, mission statement out, that's what you can do. And that's what I'm really going to help you to focus on. And so it's going to be extremely fun. Again, awards are awesome. I really do like them. And you mentioned 2 things at the beginning, which was kind of funny. And one was about your daughter, right? And you have kids online. I just spent the last kind of 5 years on television talking about social media safety for kids, because I had 3 teens at the time as well. And it's a very important issue. And so that is something for parents to consider. I have a free guide somewhere for it, for how do you monitor what your kids are doing online. And so that's one of the things there. And the other thing you mentioned was Trump, right?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Trump is the world's greatest flippin' brander.
I knew that.
And so I have talked about him in my... What was that?
I don't talk...
And I talked about Trump. I know, without getting into politics, you have to respect a man who has water named after him, buildings named after him, who has franchised himself to a state of epicness. And then, again, I'm not talking as a presidency. To go for the presidency was, I thought, the most greatest branding move of all times, because only 2%, of the population can ever say they were a presidential nominee. And that, I think, was what he was going for on his resume, and unfortunately he ended up in office. But the bottom line was,
and you know why?
The greatest, I think, what I will call branding move.
I think he got elected because of his social media campaign, to be perfectly honest. He was superb. Like, what he did on social media was amazing, because we got it over here.
And so is Obama, right? Yeah. Obama. Yes. Yeah.
And the other thing, Tracy himself,
and that's it. Like Obama was the same.
Go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say Obama was the first to tap into social media as a presidential candidate in its form. Only he was grassroots. Again, if we go back to the business mind of Trump, he was all business about it. He knew exactly what was going to be said. And then, of course, he had his own, there's two things which resonate online and in social media, and that's either controversy or an opinion on something, right? Well, if there's anyone more controversial from what comes out of his mouth, he's brilliant at it, which keeps him constantly at the forefront of everyone's mind. And so that's a branding and a marketing strategy.
Well, as a marketer watching, because look how good he is as a president, and the news we get over here is all filtered, and I don't take much notice in the news anymore. But my comment to people when they talk about
neither do I.
You're still talking about him. The point is, you're talking about him. That's the point. Is whether you like him or you dislike him, you're talking about him. And when people are talking about you, you're current. It's absolutely fantastic. And the other thing that you said about the kids is actually, I did that for the Irish government here. I went around and talked to parents about social media and how to look after their kids as well, because it's something close to my heart. But I found I suppose it's kind of on the side. The interesting thing I find is that with your own kids, you never know anything, right? Let's be perfectly honest. Sometime around 13, 14, you go from being the greatest person on the planet to the biggest idiot that walks overnight, and you don't change a bit. I've always said that. And then about 20, they come back into the thing. And I'm joking about that's not quite true. But when it comes to social media, they don't think, oh my God, you know anything. So I thought Catfish, the program on MTV was brilliant. I sat down, watched 6 or 7 episodes of Catfish with each one of my kids, and they're going, what? Did you see that? That gorgeous woman was a man. And it was this, and it was that, and it was done in such a good way, in a show way, that it engaged the kids. I thought it was the best, and that was my advice to all the parents. You don't want, if your kids won't listen to it, just sit down and watch Catfish with them and see the light dawn in their face. It's amazing, and it's good. Look, the great thing is we're all connected. The bad thing is we're all connected. Tracy, thanks very much for coming.
Yeah, that's right.
I know you're extremely busy, so I'm going to say thank you, and I'm looking forward to bringing you back on the live workshop, guys. Tracy, I've seen Tracy talk. It'll be amazing.
Awesome.
The same as all the other speakers. This is going to be something very, very unusual and very unique coming to the internet, and we're looking forward to having a bit of fun starting on Paddy's Day. So Tracy, again, thanks very much for coming in, and guys, we'll talk to you all very soon. You'll be seeing lots of me over the next couple of days, guys. And go to legendsofthedigitalworld.com and sign up now for your free spot. See ya.